Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Anna Butler, the Dallas Morning News' food editor. There's a new restaurant hitting Denton Square, an official opening date for Richard Rawlings' Gas Monkey, and a tequila and mezcal festival later this month. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. Today, I am joined by our food writers, Sarah Blaskovich and Imelda Garcia. All right, Sarah, what's going on with Gas Monkey?
Gas Monkey is the new ice house from car guy Richard Rawlings. And if anybody doesn't know him, you should Google his name right now, Richard Rawlings, and you will probably recognize his face. He was on a Discovery Channel show called Fast and Loud, and there was a minute where Richard Rawlings was kind of everywhere in North Texas, even if you weren't really into cars. Well, he hasn't had a Gas Monkey restaurant or concert venue in Texas for a couple of years now, but on May 6th, this week, he opened Gas Monkey Icehouse in Grandscape, which is the big development in the colony anchored by Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Which, in your story about this on dallasnews.com/food, you called it Warren Buffett's development, which is one of my favorite things of all time, because this development in the colony wouldn't exist without Warren Buffett just wanting to be like, hey, I want to put a Nebraska Furniture Mart here.
Yes. And, you know, anybody who's driven by Grandscape in the last couple of years, this is the massive development near 121, kind of close to the tollway. It is huge. I mean, the Shields sporting goods store there is like an amusement park for my children.
Plus, that's where Cosm is. And I really want to go to Cosm so badly.
It has been weeks since you brought up Cosm on this podcast, Anna. Cosm has made a resurgence.
But this is the one where you can like floor to ceiling. It's a fully immersive experience to watch a concert, more likely for me, a sporting event, but it makes it look like you're actually there and have like sideline seats or like 6 seats. And then they have food and stuff. And it's supposed to be so much fun. I just can only afford to go to the events that no one wants to go to.
But you can spend also the whole day in Nebraska Furniture Mart, right?
I have done that, in fact.
Me too. And you know what? The bonus there is that you can find See's candies. And they are really hard to find here in DFW.
I feel like we might have one at North Park Mall too, but the story behind See's is that Warren Buffett tried this lady's candy once and was like, America needs to taste this. And so now there are See's everywhere. That's the Warren Buffett effect. Yeah. I love that man.
Okay, so while you're up there at Grandscape, as of this week, you can go to Gas Monkey Icehouse. You know, the vibe of this restaurant is burgers and beers for the most part. They also have pizza and kind of some appetizery fried food. But the draw to Gas Monkey Icehouse is really Richard Rawlings. The idea that you're hanging out in a restaurant created by this car guy who got really famous on television. And in fact, those who love him might even be able to see him sometimes at the restaurant.
Sarah, is it true that he's going to film there at the restaurant?
Yes, he is. So he's not a Discovery Channel guy anymore. He moved his whole Gas Monkey empire to YouTube. And so according to press materials, he's going to film some of his YouTube appearances at the restaurant. I think there's going to be car shows there too. It is one of these newish restaurants with like a big old parking lot. So I am envisioning like lots of cool classic cars parked there where you could come and maybe meet Richard and stop in for a burgers and a beer.
Sounds like a Saturday. Okay, Imelda, what is Mexican Oak?
Okay, Mexican Oak is a new restaurant that is going to open in Denton, right in the square. This is an upscale Mexican restaurant. And you know what? We can use a lot more of those in Denton County because we don't have that much restaurants that we deserve. This is the second venture of owners Brandon and Morgan Bohannon. Yeah, did I say it right, Tara?
Yeah, Bohannon, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's very Texan. So they own the Barrel in Bartonville, and this is their second restaurant. So this is a college town, and it's going to be like a little bit expensive restaurant, but they want to serve also the students. So I think we are going to be an array of options in there.
What do you think they want to be known for when it comes to the food, Imelda?
Well, the chef is Jorge Romero. He's from Mexico City, so he knows his thing. His mother were from Zacatecas and his dad from Veracruz. So that means he has a lot of family recipes that he will be building in that restaurant. They want to sell cochinita pibil, barbacoa, enchiladas, things that we all know, but with his special touch.
But it's also interesting, too, with his parents being from such different places. So we'll actually probably have some like very fresh, light cuisine and then some of the heartier stuff is what it sounds like.
Yeah, correct. Because as we know, in the north part of the country, it's meat, red chili, things like that. And in Veracruz, it's a lot of fresher things, fish and greens, and so there's a good combination in there.
One of the things that I'm excited about for this restaurant is that it's in place of Barley and Board, a well-known and very well-liked restaurant that was in the Denton Square for quite a while until it closed recently. And we always play this real estate game of what is opening, what did it used to be, is a question I find myself asking constantly. And so anybody who went up to Denton for the bigger restaurants like Barley and Board, it's Mexican oak going in that place. And it's at a nice corner on the Denton Square, lots of visibility.
Yeah, and they plan to open at the end of May or maybe June.
There's also an upcoming mezcal and tequila expo, Imelda.
For this, my friends, I'm calling all the tequila and mezcal lovers. Are you a tequila or mezcal lover?
Yes.
I like both. I don't discriminate. I'll have either.
I don't like mezcal that much, I love tequila, but the mezcal is like hard for me.
Too smoky?
No, I don't know. It's hard. It's like, ugh. So, and I don't know if you know the difference, but mezcal, you have to drink it with an orange instead of a lime. They are two different spirits, and they are going to be together in one expo on May 24th at the Colony at Grandscape.
Hey, we're back to Grandscape. Now, anybody listening who lives in Dallas like me, please take a safe ride to the Mezcal and Tequila Expo because that sounds boozy.
And last year, they had 1,300 people. It was hosted in Irving last year, and they had 1,300 people show up. I'm imagining now inebriated people at Nebraska Furniture.
Oh, there's so many things you could do.
The beds.
You could go and buy so many pairs of expensive Nike shoes at Scheels. You could go have ice cream. You could have pizza. You could go talk to Richard Rawlings.
You yourself could be fast and loud at Gas Monkey.
You nailed it. That's what you need to do.
So let me tell you how this works. So you're going to pay $25. You're going to receive a passport. And each of the producers and expo guys that are there are going to give you a taste. So you can taste 25 different things of experience. So this is crazy because one brand can have like 4 different types, You're going to be drinking more than 25 drinks that day. So please Uber your way to that expo.
I hope this is not on a Sunday because the work on the next day is just going to be too hard.
Yeah, no, it's a Saturday. So
okay.
You have time to recover.
You go to the expo on Saturday, you sleep on Sunday, and then we can get back to work.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to go now.
And the good news is for all 25 of these tastings, you do have 6 hours to do it. So you don't actually need to Zoom through them. I don't think that's advisable. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm like, not your mom. But that being said, I'm a little concerned.
You can take a breather also, like water or something like that.
And there is food.
Yeah, they're going to have food. So, guys, please be careful, but be happy. This is the time. This is a good time for us.
Okay, Sarah, you talked to the owner of East Dallas Middle Ground about the coffee shop's move to cut the upcharge on alternative milks. What brought on the change?
Yes, this is an interesting story. So many of us might be bracing for a volatile economic climate, and we don't really know what that means. But Tiffany Coaches, who owns East Dallas Middle Ground, is thinking ahead to what if people think coffee is too expensive, and then maybe they stop visiting her business or other businesses as often as they have. And so she took this step of removing the extra charge for alternative milks. And she had a couple of reasons for this. One is she thought it was inequitable for somebody who can't have cow's milk to have to pay more than somebody who doesn't. She's just sort of like, it feels like a tax on an allergy. And I think that's a a nice thought. The other thing is she said, quote, it's a moment where everyone's being stretched. Quote, I'd rather make that stretch for our customers than lose them altogether. And I think this little story gives you a glimpse into a bigger picture of how small business owners are thinking ahead. You know, if we hit a tough economic climate, what do you cut out? What is discretionary? And Middle Ground Coffee is a community spot. It is a place where people take their kids and where people work from home sometimes every day. It is really a place where people gather. And she's like, I don't want to lose that if coffee starts to feel expensive. What we didn't go into, and what's probably next on her mind, is could tariffs change the price of coffee? That's a problem for the future. For now, she just says, I want people to know they're welcome in my place, and I'm going to make this one change so that everybody feels, like they can continue to afford to come back.
This is something we're all thinking about. I just think everything is starting to add up and my dollar isn't going as far.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people might cut out coffee. I could never do that. So it's like, what do I cut out? Brushing my teeth?
Please no.
No more toothpaste.
Something different for Anna, please.
And you can read about all of these things by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, I have a little mystery exercise for our food team.
Okay.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. Before we get to the question I've been dying to ask the team, we have a request for you, our listeners. We're looking for easy summer recipes and we want to know yours. Email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com and tell us about what you love to make when summer sets in. Okay, so I have a fun exercise inspired by a story one of our interns reported. There's a student at SMU, Luke Freub, that has built his own food business. It's called Pozo Loco, and it's basically a wood-fired pizza oven on wheels. So he does this in addition to his studies and has gigs at Barley House and other places. He partners with Bumble, and he's just all over the city. I don't know if I could have personally handled running a business while also studying.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. Sarah, Imelda, Julie, what would your food truck business be?
Whoa.
I'm thinking that if we answer this question, I'm answering it through the lens of being a college student as well.
I think that would be a good rule, but I don't want to stifle anyone's creativity.
Julie has one.
I'm claiming this one because I feel like one of you you're going to grab it before I get to it. I am going to do an egg sandwich truck because I make incredible egg sandwiches. I might eat them every day.
Wow.
Egg, cheese, Canadian bacon, regular bacon. Sometimes I'll take those little hash brown patties and toast them up and put those in there as well. They are delicious. And I think you could make something like that pretty quickly and easily, wrap them up in some foil, and then kids could just carry them on their way to class. We would make so much money, y'all. Let's do this. Can we do it now or do I have to be a student?
So like breakfast on a bun, like a good Bob.
That's the name for the truck.
Bob's.
Now, Julie, when you first hatched this, I thought you wanted to have an egg salad sandwich truck. And that, while I love egg salad, is smelly. And so we would know you were coming from a mile away based on the smell of boiled eggs. And so again, I'm an egg salad and a deviled egg person, but I was going to think this was a bad idea for our college campus. So when you explained egg sandwich, which is really just an incredible breakfast option, now I'm on board with the Bobs.
But the thing about an egg salad food truck is this. Luke Freub with Pozo Loco was like, I picked wood-fired pizza because people can smell it coming. So it's like built-in marketing.
Yeah. I mean, he's smart.
But you could do that with egg salad.
Wah, wah, wah.
To be clear, I never said egg salad. We do not need that smell on a college campus. And furthermore, what we would do is make the bacon from the truck. So everybody would smell the bacon on campus, and that would be the attraction.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense to me, Julie, and I'm going to piggyback on that with my food truck idea, which is a breakfast taco truck. I'm not trying to take away business from your egg sandwich, but when it comes to breakfast, I think the most perfect thing to eat is a breakfast taco. And perhaps at our collab, Julie, you and I can work together and put some of your ingredients inside of my breakfast tacos. But what I want is tacos with everything awesome in them. So I love a bean and cheese taco, certainly love an egg and bacon and anything else. We all know I love fake processed cheese, so this will only have the lowest of priced American cheese sprinkled atop everything. That's what I would serve to college kids, but as a strongly not college kid anymore, I would eat these breakfast tacos every day myself.
I want to try your tacos.
Thank you.
What about you, Anna?
So the thing I had as like a fixation to perfect while I was in college, because I went away from Texas for college, was to make enchiladas.
Oh.
That violates every single rule to me of a food truck because you need to be able to eat it easily in a mobile environment. And it's like absolutely the worst. And so I've been thinking about this though all weekend. I'm like, what does it look like to essentially try to almost do like a banh mi, but with enchilada like fillings. So you could make it like a kind of a sloppy sandwich. There would not be tortilla involved with this, but I'm like, you could do it as a fusion. Oh. Anybody tracking with me on
So
this?
you got French bread, and then you're putting Tex-Mex ingredients inside?
Some like really, really great shredded chicken and like a verde salsa and some white cheese in there. I don't know. It could be pretty good.
Okay.
And why don't you just make a taco out of it and that's it?
It's too obvious.
Wait, Anna, I think you want to open a torta truck. I mean, isn't that what you want? She wants
I
to sell.
appreciate that y'all are telling me that. Imelda, what's yours?
Okay, I think I went crazy here.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. So my food truck is gonna be called Dare, and our motto will be Eat If You Dare. So this is gonna be a food truck where cooks will be dressed as scientists, with a white robe and everything. There will be like smoke and colored neon lights, like that kind of vibe.
She's really setting the scene. I'm there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna offer a fusion of savory and disgusting cuisine. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a mutant taco. Yeah, it's gonna be a taco of carnitas, but with spicy cotton candy sauce.
Oh my gosh.
Things like that, like the Frankenstein. You should see the face of Anna right now. A Frankenstein burger. It's gonna be with blue cheese, with beef, and colored sprinkles.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe some atomic nachos, when nuclear green cheese. Or maybe
Nuclear waste.
And then you're going to enter the State Fair Big Tex Choice Awards.
Yeah, I know, right? And to finish your fabulous dinner, there's going to be thermonuclear ice cream. Liquid nitrogen ice cream with chamoy and gummies. Ooh. So, yeah, and we're going to have a roulette, if you go with your friends. So
this is like Park Casino.
Yeah, so you spin the roulette, and if you win the roulette, you are going to be eating fried brain quesadillas. Yes,
oh my gosh.
Which are a thing in Mexico, let me tell you.
Wait, whose brains?
The pork brains. Oh. Yes.
The more we're talking about nuclear, the more I'm like, and then we'll also import mushrooms from Chernobyl to really set it off. It'll be like a truffle upcharge.
You can go to this food truck after you go to the expo mezcal and tequila. And
That's
you
right.
will be very welcome.
And your sales will be amazing.
I know, right? $1 million idea again.
Imelda, what's the name again?
It's going to be Dare. Eat if you dare.
I truly thought when you started talking about it, it was going to be like the anti-drug program from the 90s.
The DARE club. Yes. No, instead, your tagline I like just as more, Imelda, a fusion of savory and disgusting cuisine.
Yeah, you're going to be...
The word disgusting is going to be like in cursive, kind of cute.
You know what? In Mexico, we say, guacala, qué rico.
That's another good name for this truck.
Yeah.
I couldn't spell it, but I really like it.
I think you know your demographic. I think college kids would love
I do.
Dare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is a fun activity. We should all be on the Food Network at like some entrepreneurial show. Obviously, Imelda would win, but
I think I lost. If you have $1 million to give Imelda to get this idea off the ground, email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com.
just send your credit card number. We'll be good stewards with it.
Yeah.
We'll accept Venmo as well. Okay, so that's all the time we have today. And we don't want you to miss an episode, so make sure you're following Eat Drink DFW wherever you find podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.